Welcome back to FM Story. We are midway through the first season with Sporting. The World Cup has just ended, so we'll have a quick look and see who has done well in that and who's won it. And then we've got some big games coming up in this episode. We've got a couple of games against Porto, both away. We've got the Europa League knockout against Union Berlin coming up as well. So without further ado, let's get going. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment and subscribe. And then without further ado, let's have a look and see what went on in the World Cup. So we've made it past the World Cup. We'll go and have a look at that in a second. Obviously, as you can see, we've got a big game coming up just before Christmas. Quarter-final of the Allianz Cup. We're playing Porto at a neutral venue. So obviously that's going to be a big one. Obviously, we do have Porto twice in 4 days in January as well, in the other cup competition and in the league. So, a big couple of months with 3 games against Porto coming up. Now, the World Cup in this universe was won by Germany on penalties from South Korea. And already it looks like it was a wild, wild World Cup. Malik Tillman, leading goal scorer. Kellen Acosta second in average ratings. So the Americans obviously did pretty well. Right, let's jump straight. We'll start with the group stages. So Netherlands only finished second in their group. Japan finished bottom of their group. Croatia finished bottom of their group. Serbia qualified. And South Korea finished top of their group with Portugal in second. So then in the second round, the US beat Ecuador, Australia beat Argentina, England beat the Netherlands, France beat Mexico, Germany beat Morocco, Brazil beat Portugal, Spain beat Belgium, and South Korea beat Serbia. The one thing with this is, obviously, I think that's all of our players that were at the World Cup now out of the competition at the second round stage. So everyone got back and had a nice rest. So we're in a decent position going into this cup game against Porto. Quarterfinals, the USA beat Australia. Germany beat Brazil. France hammered England. And South Korea beat Spain on penalties. Semi-final, Germany won in extra time. And South Korea beat France. And then in the third place playoff, the USA beat France on penalties. This has been a wild, wild World Cup, this one. And then obviously Germany beat South Korea on penalties. Right, so all of those awards for Best Goalkeeper, Golden Ball, Golden Shoe, Best Young Player are actually what happened in the real world, not this universe. The team of the tournament based on what happened in this universe. So we've got Manuel Neuer in goal, Hoffman, Sula, Young-ho, and Anthony Robinson as a back four. Pulisic, Goretzka, Hwang, and Son in midfield. And Gabi Jesus and Olivier Giroud up front. Wow. I mean, that's so far removed from what actually happened in the real world. Unbelievable. So, it's obviously going to be a tough game. They've got a really strong team. And the fact that Evan Nielsen is only on the bench just points out how strong a team they've got. So it's going to be a tough game. In terms of the team, it's what would be as strong a team as we can put out. Marita would probably play normally in place of Manswerk. And Inacio might not start, but Inacio starting as one of the under-21 players, as is Leonardo Barroso on the right-hand side. Hopefully we can get off to a decent start and put in a decent performance. The board expect us to get beat. The fans expect us to win. So let's see what happens. It is the quarterfinal of the four. So if we do win, we get Gil Vicente in the semi-final, which means that whichever team wins this, you'd have to say are going to be the favourites to make it into the final. Having said that, we're about to have a player sent off. Right, we've switched to a 4 at the back, just so that we're not overwhelmed, but then they've scored straight away. He got up above 2 of them. It's not good enough. There's Gaio who's come on at right back. Max Edwards again. Leonardo. Oh! I mean, it's been a pretty even game, but that sending off could just derail us, I think, here. Quates, Gaio. Max Edwards gives the ball away. That was offside, surely. He looks offside. Like no one was anywhere near him. They're both playing him on. Right, Nuno Santos with a free kick. And now they're going to break on us and score again. Right, Nuno Santos has the ball. Adan goes long, but we don't have anyone that's going to win the ball up in the air like that. This could not be going any worse. I'm not sure how the keeper's beaten from there, but I don't know why we're even bothering with the lines, because there's no way that was ever going to be offside. And we're just giving the ball away again. And that's another red card. What? Surely he was offside. I mean, there's only one player that came out of that with any kind of credit, and that was Diamande. And even then, he was responsible for Martinez being well onside for his second goal. For their second goal. The thing is, as well, like, get stuck in isn't on. So quite why two of my defensive-minded players decided they were going to lunge into tackles like that. Oh well. No Christmas present for the fans. Now we just need to go back and concentrate on the league and then try and get revenge in the other cup competition. We've made it to the end of January, and since the Allianz Cup game against Porto, things have kind of largely gone in the same direction that game went. Our first game back in the league after the World Cup was at home to Gil Vicente, and we should have scored. We didn't. We paid the price for the draw. Just a really unacceptable performance all round. We then opened up the calendar year at home to Rio Ave and put in a much better performance. Couple of goals close together between Marcus Edwards and Trincao in the first half, and then Trincao had his second one just before half time. Comfortable 3-0 victory, and much more kind of the performance we want to see from the team. We then went away to Pacos de Ferreira and didn't get off to the best start. 1-0 down after 17 minutes, and really it was late on in the first half where we started to actually do something, but we did then really perform quite well in the second half. We should have been more accurate with our shooting. 21 shots, but only 5 of them on target. But luckily, Marcus Leonardo picked up a couple of goals late on to see us to victory. We then went away to Porto in the Taça de Portugal, and basically just didn't perform. We tried something slightly different in terms of the formation to try and make us more secure. It didn't work. We didn't create enough. It was fairly even until the point where they got their first goal. Obviously, they then went on and got 2, and we just couldn't do anything in the second half to get back on terms. We then followed that up with another trip to Porto at the weekend. We tried the same formation because it kept them fairly tight in the first half of the cup game, and basically got blown out of the water. 3-0 down at half time, down to 10 men. We did somehow manage to pull a goal back, but when we were pressing to get even further back into the game, they killed us off with a 4th goal. And yeah, just another dismal performance. We then went away to Vitória Guimarães and basically didn't perform again. They took an early lead. We pulled a goal back just before half time through Zizo on his debut, and then we just really didn't create anything. I mean, they were the better team, and actually the 1-1 draw probably slightly flattered us. We then went away to Estoril and tried a slightly different formation. We're in the stage now of tinkering to see if something actually works. It was a game that we dominated, and really, we should really, when you look at the difference in the squads. Marcus Edwards popped up with a hat-trick. Gabriel Menino scored his first goal for the club as well. So we've slightly picked up with that 4-0 victory, but we need to really sort of put some performances in the second half of the season to make sure that we do at least qualify for the Champions League, because we've got knocked out of the Taça de Portugal before they wanted us to. We've got a tough-looking game a tough-looking tie coming up in the Europa League against Union Berlin. So we need to turn the form around in the league to at least make sure we guarantee that top 3 position. In terms of the league, we're currently sat in 3rd position. We've played a game more than Benfica and Porto, who are about to play each other. We're currently sat in 3rd. We've played a game more than Benfica and Porto, who have got a game. Both got games coming up. We're 3 points behind Porto, 5 points behind Benfica. So it's not the end of the world. But if they both win those games, that's 6 and 8 points, which becomes a bit tougher. We are 4 points clear of Braga, who are currently sat in 4th. So hopefully we've got enough to at least finish above them this season, and then work on what we're going to do. In terms of player stats, Max Leonardo is our top goal scorer in the league. He's come in and really hit the ground running. And if we didn't have him, I'd dread to think where we would have been in this first half of the season. And you see in the average ratings and assists, Pedro Goncalves. Now, unfortunately, he's not going to go any higher up that assist table because he has left the club. So January transfer window's seen a bit of business. The board have stiffed me big time. So let's have a look and see what we did in the transfer window. Basically, everything in January started with the sale of Pedro Goncalves for 52 million, rising to 55 million to Liverpool. It seemed too good an offer to turn down when we needed money to reinvest in the squad. The board said we would get 34.5 million added to the transfer budget. We got 7.5 million added to the transfer budget. What we did with the money that we had is we picked up Zizo from Zamalek, who can play both sides. Gabriel Menino from Palmeiras, who can play in the midfield or he can play on the right-hand side. On deadline day, we picked up Nicholas Jackson on loan from Villarreal. We do have an option to make it a permanent deal, but I would be uncertain of us taking advantage of that deal just because of the amount of money. I don't think we're going to have the money to make that a permanent deal in the summer. But looking at what we're looking to do, we're potentially looking at playing two up front in the second half of the season, and we only had Paulinho and Max Leonardo, so we're struggling a bit for numbers there. So adding an extra player there, hopefully he can score some goals, because in the Athletic Club save, every time we played against him, once he'd left Villarreal and gone to Atletico Madrid, every time he played against us, he seemed to score. So hopefully he can repeat that in this save. Hopefully they haven't nerfed him in the winter update, and we can pair him with Marcus Leonardo and hopefully get some goals in the second half of the season. So we're going to begin February with a home game against Vizela. We've gone for a slightly different formation again. Like I said when we were talking about the transfers, we're going to try two up front. So we're going to go with a Dan in goal, but that's something that in the summer we're going to have to address. I think we need a new young goalkeeper for the future that can be our number one for a long time. Going Menino at right back, Coates and Diamande in the centre of defence, and Rice at left back. We're sticking with Marito and Ugarte in the two defensive midfield roles. We've got Marcus Edwards on the right, Zizo on the left, Nicholas Jackson and Max Leonardo through the middle. And hopefully, now that we've got transfer window out of the way, we've got a squad set for the second half of the season, we can start to gel and put in some performances. And that is not the way to start. Okay. Yeah. I think there's a fairly good chance I might not make it to the end of this first season. That is just abysmal. Right, Diamande wins the ball there. Right, Menino heads. Oh. We are losing 2-0 at home to the team that are second bottom. I think I've broken Marcus Leonardo. Oh. Matthias Reis, Zizou, Leonardo. Yes. Surely that's not offside. I mean, the fact that he's run away with the ball probably suggested it wasn't as well. Matthias Reis brings the ball forward, plays it into Zizou, takes a touch, lifts it outside the right foot over the defence, and Leonardo beats the keeper to it, but we do need to be better. Right, 5 substitutes made just to try and get ourselves at least an equaliser here. Still waiting for them to come on though. So, right, Zizou into Garte, Marita. Edwards goes back to win the ball. Ugarte, Zizou. Around the corner for Leonardo. And there's Nicholas Jackson, and we're level. 2-2. I think we do need to make the changes still just to bring some fresh legs on, but it's a lovely ball by Zizou again. Alright, Paulinho. Can he cross it? Oh. Smart save from the keeper to deny Trincao. Nuno Santos with the corner. And Leonardo at the back post. It's taken a while for them to figure out what we were supposed to be doing. But now we've got 3 goals in 7 minutes. Santos with another corner. Zizou to Diamandi. Ugarte. Oh, what a goal. From distance off the underside of the bar. And it must have just about snuck over the line. Diamandi just shifts it. When he shifts it to his left, Ugarte runs onto it. Keeper didn't have a chance. Paulinho into Leonardo. Marita, Paulinho out to Nuno Santos. Marita, Trincao. And there's that many bodies there that I couldn't tell whether anyone was offside, but we're now up 5-2. It seems like it took an hour for them to figure out what we were asking from them. And now they've stepped up. Okay. We still need to figure out the attacking and defending set pieces. Because that was not very good. To be honest, I certainly wasn't expecting that turnaround after the hour when we were 2-0 down. But 5-3 to win. I mean, really, as long as we score more goals than the opposition, that's all that matters. But now we do really need to build on it before we get to some of the big games. And that's the end of this episode. An episode where we've been hammered 3 times by Porto. Not the best of feelings. But hopefully we have started to pick things up. Coming up in the next episode, we've got big Europa League tie against Union Berlin. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.